here. So just some cards about this. So twin flames, remember, you're on a journey of awakening. And talk about surrender. I just talked about surrender. It's all about surrender, right? Surrendering everything up to the divine, higher power. Because the great thing, the curse for the ego is you've got no control. Talk about no control. You have no control over this twin flame journey, right? So you're forced to surrender. You're forced to surrender to, are you surrendering to your twin flame? No. Are you surrendering to the connection of your twin flame? No. You're surrendering to your higher self. You're surrendering to your soul, right? You're letting it be worked on. And the image that I had today in terms of the twin flame connection, because there's you, right, the chaser, and then there's the runner, right? But that, okay, so there's the 1 plus 1, and this equals 11, right? And the 11 is the entity. Do you know what I mean? The twin flame entity. That's just a combination of these two, right? There's something greater, right? So this twin flame entity is 11. It's got the power of 11. And this has been activated, and it's growing day by day. It's growing day by day, right? And it grows day by you doing your inner work. Both parties are doing their inner work, and that's that work of surrendering, right? They're going through an ego death, right? So surrendering the ego to the divine. So this is where you want to have your focus on. Both parties, the runner and the chaser. Okay, so I did, this is for the Mars and Leo transit. And over here on this side is the chaser, the so-called chaser, and then this is the runner. So I picked ego cards for both, and then tarot. So the ego card is what's stopping you. The question on the table was what's stopping you or blocking you from being your authentic self, right? So this is what Mars and Leo are helping you to be, your authentic self, your creative self. Your creative self. What's stopping you? Well, there's the chaser. And the chaser got the self-sabotage card. You see him? He's on a branch right there. And he's sawing. Doesn't know that he's actually sabotaging himself, right? He's going to fall off that branch. So these are self-destructive. So this is what's stopping you. And it's interesting that it's coming from childhood. Chasers. And this is a self-destructive pattern from your childhood. So when these are things that seem to go wrong in your life. They seem to go wrong in your life. And I put wrong in quotation marks right there, right? Losses, right? You know, you work on something really a long time, right? You work on this project and then suddenly your computer crashes and you lose everything. Like things like that. They just, and this is where you can go into the victim story, which is like, oh, this always happens to me. I really try and it always happens to me. Everything goes wrong. But this is subconscious programming. You know, when you're dealing with the inner child, this is what we do with this online retreat, is you're dealing with the subconscious mind. You're not dealing with the conscious mind. You're dealing with the subconscious mind plus the emotional body. And these two keep things hidden from you, right? So there it is, that energy, right, is distorted. It's the distortion. It's your not self. Remember, it's all about frequency right now. So your not self energy is distorted. It affects your emotional body and this subconscious mind. And then this gets manifested out in the external world as things seeming to go wrong, right? That's how it is. But is that the root? No, the root goes back here to this not self energy. So that's where you have to go. So you want to just be aware of it with Mars and Leo, right? Bring your awareness, even a prayer like, please let me see to the divine, please let me see where I'm sabotaging myself, where my actions are not aligned with my goals, right? They're not aligned with my goals. I was just remembering a friend from way, way back when I was in my 20s, and she was a really talented actor, right? Really working hard, like hustling to get her big break, right? She finally gets called in for an audition for this really popular television show, right? So she's all excited. What does she do? She calls up some friends, and friends in quotation marks, friends of addictions, called these friends up and then did a bunch of coke, right? And then missed the audition. So that would be like an extreme version of this self-sabotage, right? When things are going really, really good, then the self-sabotage comes in, but it's the ego, right? So one part of your ego is like, oh, that's a bummer, man, I'm a victim. And then the other part of the ego is gleeful, right? Gleeful that these things are going wrong and that you give up, So to watch this as a chaser, where you're self-sabotaging yourself, right? So this could be in your personal life, or it could be, in terms of the chaser, like falling into chasing energy again. It's never going to work out. I have to do something, right? I've got to contact them, right? Falling into that chasing energy. And that's not where you want to go, because your focus, the ego has you focused on the runner, not on yourself. So you want to bring it back to yourself. So to watch the little tricks of the ego, the saboteur, and then what to let go of. So this is stopping you right here, stopping you. Is this, right? The burden. So it's to let go of this burden, and it's upside down, right? If it were right side up, it would be like you got to stick with it. It's almost over, right? This burden, whatever this burden that you're carrying, but it's upside down. So this, to me, just because the guidance is the Ace of Cups, is to give your burden, what you've been holding on to, like mentally, spiritually, right? Whatever you're trying to control. So maybe you're trying to control this twin flame connection. This is not good control, right? So you want to let this burden go and give it to the divine, right? To give your burdens to the divine. So whatever you've been worrying about, carrying, right? Having way too many responsibilities, right? You want to give that up to the divine and let this go, because this is stopping you from your authenticity. This is keeping you in an ego chaser, an ego identity that's like, I have to do it all. If I don't do it all, the world's going to fall apart. My world will fall apart, right? If I don't go out there and watch that the sun rises in the morning, it will never rise. It's like the ridiculousness of that statement, right? So this reading from Mars and Leo is to say to give up your burdens, give up control, and just surrender. To surrender in terms of the twin flame. The twin flame is this connection. How it takes form in the 3D realm is none of your business. You have no control, right? It's about surrendering. And what it's warning you, right? This is like a burnout card too. It's a warning that you're going to burn out. You're going to collapse if you keep approaching your life. Let's talk just about your life. If you keep approaching your life like this, collapse and burnout, right, will come a breakdown will come, right? So you want to let this go. So this could be part of the self-sabotage, right? Like doing way too much, doing everybody else's job, right? Being codependent. This is a codependent card. I'm taking the responsibility of people in my life, right? I have to fix them. I have to do everything for them. And this card is saying, no, give it up to the divine. And then the Ace of Cups, right there. This is about accepting love. And is that coming from your twin flame? Maybe, maybe not. Right? But it's definitely coming from the divine. That hand is coming out of a cloud. It's coming from the divine. To accept this love, right? It's spirituality. It's emotional awakening, right? It's awakening your emotions. It's opening up your heart. And the thing with Mars and Leo, it's very creative, but creativity, true creativity comes from an open heart. Right? True creativity comes from an open heart. You have to have your heart open for it to be true creativity. If your heart is closed and you're running around calling yourself an artist, that's not creative energy. It's not creativity. It's your imagination because it's coming from the mind. The art that really touches people and lives forever and on, it's coming from an open heart. Whatever that looks like, however it's manifested, it's coming from this place, the open heart. So this is saying the guidance for the chasers is to really embrace your intuition. That's open heart. When your heart is open, your intuition, remember your heart is the Google translator for your intuition. You're having an emotional awakening. You're loving yourself, the Ace of Cups. And you're bringing in new feelings, right, for yourself. This is the water element, right? The water element. Yeah. Okay. So then let's look at the runner. In the ego card that's blocking the runner from their true authenticity is the conflict card. The conflict card. Oh, that's interesting too. Self-sabotage is totally a Scorpio dynamic too, right? That self-sabotage is Scorpio for sure. So let's look at conflict. So this is conflict with others. So fighting with others. And Mars and Leo can totally bring that up. If you misuse this energy, yes, you can be in conflict with others. Pluto and Mars in opposition, yes, conflict with others, major conflict. But you have to remember with the runner is, you don't want to externalize it, right? So you don't want to externalize this energy outward because that's where it has to go somewhere. So you want to harness it and use it and bring it to your creativity, to your own creativity. So the conflict, it's not, if you have conflict in your life right now with other people, it's not about them. It's actually a reflection of the conflict that's going on within you. And it's heart and head. Heart and head. That's the conflict. Am I going to listen to my heart, right? Or am I going to listen to my head? Right? So you have a choice there. Am I going to listen to my intuition? Or am I going to listen to my head or other people that are very logical? This is not a time to embrace logic. And on the twin flame journey, there's no logic. So there can be conflict, right, with this. And then as soon as you just bring that in, so watch, here's a hot tip for the runners. In terms of conflict, you want to ask yourself, what does that person represent? What does that person represent to me, right, that I'm in conflict with? Maybe this person, while you're in conflict and you're fighting with them now, is like, they never listen to me, right? They never listen to me, right? They never listen to me. Or they're not committed, They don't commit. They don't commit to me. Right? Meaning that they don't even stay in the room. Right? They don't stay in the room. Especially if they're a slippery fish mind, right? That comes from the chart. It's in the so they never listen to me. So you want to look at that. Okay, that's causing conflict with me, and I'm raising my voice and I'm trying to make them hear me, and they don't understand what I'm saying. Well, then you bring it back to yourself. It's like you don't listen to you. I'm not listening to me. I'm not listening to me. I'm not listening to my intuition. I'm totally dismissing it. When my intuition is telling me things, I'm dismissing it. Right? So you bring it back to you. They don't commit to me. They don't stay in the room. I don't commit to myself. Right? I don't commit to myself. I get distracted. They leave the room. They won't even listen to me, right? They don't even stay in the room. Well, you don't even stay in yourself. Right? You don't even listen to yourself. You're not patient enough. You're too distracted. You get distracted. Right? That 56. I'm letting myself get distracted. I don't even have the patience to listen to myself. As soon as you start owning all of this stuff, the conflict goes away, right? The conflict will go away. You'll stop having conflict with other people because those other people are not going to have to show you. They're not going to have to mirror this back to you, right? And so your twin, right? If you're in separation, then it's going to come through your karmic relationships. But if you're with your twin's going to show you where you're in conflict with yourself, right? And vice versa, right? Your twin for the chaser is going to show you where you self-sabotage, where you sabotage yourself. Okay. And what to let go of for the runner is the Ace of Wands, but in reverse. Right, it's the Ace of Wands in reverse. Let me get it. Right, so there's the Ace of Wands in reverse. And so this is delays, it's blocks. Right? So this conflict is really showing you where you lack passion, where you're not letting your passionate nature, right? This is totally Mars and Leo. Leo's a very passionate sign, and so is Mars as a planet. So this is lack of passion, lack of energy, because you're using all that energy in conflict with other people, right? With that, I need to get them to understand what I'm saying. They need to listen to me. You're wasting all your energy on that, right? It's taking away your energy. It's taking away your passion. This is creative blocks, right? Creative blocks. This is not listening to your intuition, right? With this. This is hesitating, putting it off, putting everything off here, right? Ace of Wands is like a passionate new beginning, and you're putting it off as the runner. You're defeating all that conflict. And conflict to the ego is like yummy, 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 yummy. The ego loves the feed off conflict, right? Loves it, right? So you want to let this go, right? This Ace of Wands go. So stop delaying, stop wasting your energy, stop hesitating, move on if you're getting an intuition about a creative project, you want to move forward with that. And then the guidance here is the Tower. The guidance is the Tower card, right? And then the Queen of Wands. So for the runners, this is about change, to know and believe. You want to believe that through great change, because this is what the runner's really afraid of. The twin flame connection, when it's activated, causes tower moments, right? So in terms of the chaser, it's an internal tower moment. Like the internal world of the chaser explodes, right? For the runner, the tower is external, right? So this is like life seems to be falling apart. Nothing seems to be going right with the tower here. Well, it's to say here to have confidence, and that's Mars and Leo too, right? Leo is confident. It's a confident sign, right? Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is to have the confidence. And it can be the King of Wands if you want, right? It doesn't matter. There's no gender with tarot. And so this is to be confident, self-assured, passionate, embracing your passion, determined, charismatic, optimistic, right? That's the Queen of Wands. She can handle anything. This is the fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, right? So that's what it's saying, is like, this is what wants to break. The guidance is the Tower is coming for the runner, and just to be confident. And this Queen of Wands energy will get stronger and stronger for you. Yeah, it's to be confident you can handle change. You don't need to be in conflict. And maybe maybe as a runner, you're trying to stop this Tower moment by this conflict, right? So the conflict could be hanging on to something that's going. Now the overall energy for the chaser is this: the Knight of Cups, and then for the runners, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So this for the chaser is saying to let your heart lead the way, right? That's the overall energy. Let your heart lead the way. A lot of heart energy here with Mars and Leo. So pursue things that you love, right? Let go of these burdens. Pursue things that you love, right? So maybe time to really embrace something that you love, just for you. You want to follow your heart. And what dreams? Right? What stories? What new stories? Because we're talking the 56. This is the gate of the storyteller that Mars is activating right now. Right? So that's what this is saying, is to follow your heart. So the chaser's all about the heart, letting those wands on the ground. And then the Queen of Cups is very intuitive, right? Very intuitive. So the runner here with the Queen of Cups. So these are feelings. Your feelings are valid, right? So your feelings have value here. And your feelings are showing you something, right? How does that conflict make you feel? Right? It could be anger, could be like disappointment or sadness, right? How does it make you feel? And are you banging your head against the wall, trying to do the same things over and over and over again, expecting different results? That's the definition of insanity. So your feelings are valid. So this can be a time where you embrace your emotions. That Tower is trying to get you into your heart, the runner into his or her heart. So it makes you sensitive. Right, so it's to embrace your feelings with the Queen of Cups. This is a big heart opening for both runner and chaser. But this is about, really, the Queen of Cups is loving not only yourself but others, right? So loving others, loving your twin, allowing yourself to feel that love for your twin. So this is also about compassion and empathy. So often the runner in separation, especially the first separation, they're closed. Their heart is closed. They have a closed heart. They're following their ego. They're listening to their ego telling them lies about their twin, that there's something wrong with their twin's delusional, they're in a fantasy world, they're out of their mind, they're crazy or whatever. And then this is saying, no, the heart's finally, that the runner is starting to open up to the truth and having empathy for their twin. And what are they really having empathy for? For themselves. They're really having empathy and love for themselves. And now they can extend that to their twin. So for the runners, it's important to remember that everything that's happening in your life, like all the losses and oh my God, everything seems to be falling apart in my life. Nothing's going right. People are leaving. I don't understand what's going on. This is a blessing. It's all a blessing because everything that's not aligned with your authenticity, that's what this reading is about, is waking you up, right? Is leaving because it's no longer aligned with your authenticity, right? It's a blessing. This is truly is a blessing. And one of the major things that it's doing, it's opening your heart, right? And then you can listen to your intuition. You can understand what your intuition is saying. You're not going to be in conflict anymore. There won't be delays in your life anymore, right? Okay. So this is positive. So there we go for the twin flames. There. And be sure to break down in the comment section if you're a twin flame and your journey so far and what's going on. Okay. 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 So let's go for the generators. Generators. And let me know if you're a generator. Okay. I'm going to put these here. Do some cards. We got the generators.